G'day, frothers. You know those around us who operate at high energy levels? From friends, family, through to the famous. Those who emanate enthusiasm. They inspire you to be better. Their words give you a rush. This rush fires off dopamine right in the middle of your brain's reward centre. My theory is that at times, just before we need to hit our straps, to tap into peak performance in our flow state, we find these people and harness their energy. I call this energy froth. I call these people frothers. This is a journey to find the frothers, to understand how they inspire themselves and others to be their best. And I'll pass it on to you on this podcast, dare I say Frothcast, so you can fly into your next challenge, beaming, pumped, and full of energy. This is a coffee shop with a Red Bull chaser. This is Finding the Frothers. Howdy, listeners. I'm going to do something a little bit different to introduce this podcast. I'm going to go back to around about 6 years ago when I wrote a piece for a project, and it's still, in my opinion, the best thing that I've ever written. And it was called The Rarest of Lives. And here's the snippet. There's something inherently beautiful about the word rare. A species of wild bird, a mysterious butterfly, or a flower with the most spectacular of colours. Even the mention of a diamond with a rare association means that one may infer it to be worth a small fortune. Most would agree it is certainly a gifted turn of phrase. There is, however, one version of rare that most try to avoid. The one you hope against hope you won't hear, and in particular the doctor won't say. There is nothing beautiful in the words rare disease. Introducing Italian photographer Aldo Soligno, a man who is daringly challenging this status quo. A man, through his many years as a professional, has prided himself on getting the most out of the emotion of his subject. His latest challenge? Bringing rare diseases and the people affected to the attention of the world, and in the most beautiful way. Eloquently and justified, Aldo classes these people as living rare lives. He spun this horrible phrase on its head, an almost poetic form of justice. For him, he doesn't see an incurable disease. He sees hope in a journey to tell the world about the trials and tribulations they face and the courage that sees them defy odds in the bid to live a prosperous life. That was the excerpt. So I hope that gives you a little bit of a run-in on Aldo and that project. And I love it when I get to hear about people excelling in their passion and then using it as a force for good, specifically when there's narrative involved. So Aldo is a New York City-based award-winning photographer and storyteller. We connected over 6 years ago working on that amazing Rare Lives project and allowing for people with rare diseases to lobby for their voices to be heard. Being Italian-born and living in New York City, Aldo has a unique point of view when it comes to his fascination for it, but has also got great awareness not to overcook it. He's a bit of a chameleon with the camera, and you'll find out a lot about him in this episode. This podcast really made me feel human. And maybe that's a bit odd to say, but it really is a tale about what a human who genuinely cares about other humans can do when they combine passion, skill, and purpose. So, let's do this. Roll camera. Here's my catch-up with Aldo. G'day, Aldo Soligno. Welcome to Finding the Frothers live from New York City, mate. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome, man. Well, you're a still photographer in the fast-paced city of New York City, working on accounts like Ferrari. Very, very exciting. But something I really want to chat to you about today is your social advocacy and the work that you do for people with rare diseases. And in fact, you call them Rare Lives. Did you want to just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Rare Lives is a project that I've done for like 6 years now, and it's a documentary storytelling about people suffering from rare disease. I traveled for like 6 years now, across 7 countries in Europe. And now also I'm starting the same thing here in the US, in New York City. The goal is to describe in the best way possible the life of people suffering from a rare disease, because people usually, they don't know much about it. And my goal was to tell about them, not only the difficulties they have, but also the joy and the great goals they can achieve despite all the problems that their disease causes them. So this is the main goal, and I decided to use also the social media to spread these voices. So together with the Italian Federation of Rare Diseases and Sanofi Genzyme that sponsored us, we opened like a Facebook page, Instagram page, Twitter account, and anytime I'm traveling, covering those families, we go live and we spread their words.
Beautiful, mate. And you recently won an award, a media award, which had been previously won by the BBC journalists and the New York Times. So for an independent project, doing such brilliant things, it's you must be very proud of that.
Yeah, I'm very proud of that. But I have to say, like, I didn't won this award by myself. Actually, all the patients they won this award because it's thanks to their power, their spirit, their stories that we've been able to achieve such a great goal. And I'm so happy that really their voices have been heard on such a high level.
Mate, it's awesome because we got to actually have some mutual froth when you were starting out back in the day when I was working at a crowdfunding campaign, and we raised some money in those initial stages, and it was beautiful to read the stories and hear the stories, but for your photography to tell the stories in a way that they couldn't possibly be told. It was just an amazing thing to be part of as well. So mate, what about your routine in the busy city of New York has you accessing your peak performance, or peak froth as we call it here?
Yeah, I have to say, like, my routine is pretty different every day. It depends, but I have to say, like, I start usually at 6:15 a.m. every morning. I go to the gym. I'm not really a gym guy usually, but I've never been. But this city really requires you to be at your best. And so I discovered that if I don't go to the gym early in the morning, then I will be completely burned out at the evening. So this is a routine I started since I'm here since I live in the city. That is now for years. And then it's like a lot of emails because I still continue to work with Europe. And so that means that when I wake up, I'm already 6 hours late comparing to Europe. So I'm receiving like tons of emails, try to go through that. And then sometimes my days are really boring because I have to spend a lot of times in front of the computer editing my picture. That is something that I love, but really, even if the sun is out there, I have to be in front of my computer, like the windows closed, because I don't have to have too many reflection on the screen. And then I realize it's the end of the day, and I never step out from my apartment. Some other days are way more exciting because like there's plane to catch and go meeting some clients in Midtown or Manhattan. So it's really like I have to say it's really exciting because it's different. Sometimes I'm all the time out of my apartment. I really miss to be sitting quiet in a place. Sometimes I sit too much quiet in a place and I really miss to go outside. So I love this mix.
It's beautiful, mate. Yeah, especially in the summer. I know the feeling of getting stuck behind the old computer. You mentioned that you, just offline, that you sometimes can be juggling 10 different things at once because you're in New York City. This means that for anyone out there who has similar things, you need to really have people in place to support you through that. Who would you call someone, we call them anchor frothers, but someone who you can go to whenever you need to?
I have to say it depends. Like multiple people, of course, mostly my wife, because like our fields, we work in two fields that are really close. She does digital marketing and social media stuff. So it's like I produce the contents and she does the strategy. Of course, not on the same clients, but we can really share a lot of ideas and things. Then, of course, there are all the friends I have. The only thing I think you understand me in this is like when you live so far away from your hometown, you make a lot of new friends, but it's difficult to keep in touch with deep relationship with the old ones. So I try to do my best. And then I have to say, like, what I love from this city is that every day you meet people that are incredibly good in what they're doing. They have a lot of energy in what they're doing. They put a lot of energy in what they're doing. So I have to say that I really learn a lot from strangers or from people that after a while they became friends, but they're strangers the first time you meet them, and you are so fascinated by them. And then last thing is like there's like a songwriter, an Italian songwriter that is Fabrizio De André, that is really like my mentor, even if I never met him, also because he's dead. I'm sorry, but like listening to his songs is something that really cool me down a bit, makes me think, relax, and really it gave me a lot of ideas on my work.
Sorry, who was that? Who was the musician?
Fabrizio De André. It's like an Italian songwriter. Let's say once someone said Fabrizio De André is the Italian Bob Dylan, and another one he corrected him saying no, it's Bob Dylan that is the American version of Fabrizio De André, because she translated also Bob Dylan. She thought like Fabrizio De André was way better as a poet. So just to give you like an idea.
Brilliant, mate. So as a photographer, how do you use music to sort of allow you to access that peak performance, that peak froth?
Music is a big part of my work, because like if I have to make like a photo shoot, of course, like to have some energetic music help me like to concentrate or to feel the vibes, let's say. But when I do social documentary, like when I do like social project, really to have this kind of songwriters, it's really a way for me to listen to my heart, develop new thoughts, and go deeper into my topic. And as I said, like what I love from this Fabrizio De André is like in his songs he's able to pick a subject and then go 360, making a tour across the subject on a like 360 point of view, really looking to all the different faces every situation every person has, and give you back like the whole idea without judging the subject. And this is what I try to do with my photography, to do not judge anything I'm covering, like not a patient suffering from rare disease, not even a neo-Nazi in Sweden, but try to take his point of view, describe it, of course, with my ideas, and then let others judge the fact. Like a couple of years ago, I've been in Uganda covering the rights of LGBT people, because like a law was passed that says that they are legal and they have to be in jail for life. And 2 weeks later, I was in Sweden covering the neo-Nazi guys that were raising the power. And of course, like anyone that knows me knows that there's nothing as far from me from the neo-Nazi. I'm really on the opposite side. But anyway, try not to judge, but to listen. I think it's also the best way to try to understand why they have this opinion. And and especially when you think those opinions are extremely and super wrong, to understand why those people started to have those opinions could be the best way to try to let them see your point of view and why you think those ideas are wrong. And this is something that I really learned from this Italian songwriter.
Amazing. And that's the power of listening and being aware of reality, that you only have your own reality and everyone has their own too, and being able to have that kind of neutral perspective through a photograph. I totally get that. It's amazing. So being in New York City, you get access to a lot of frothers. There's a lot of people, like you said, high energy, a lot of high achievers, a lot of high quality work coming out of there. Is there anyone who's just on the periphery of your network that you'd really love to get in contact with?
Actually, I don't know. Like the thing is in the city is that it's so energetic that sometimes it's too much, and you can't stop and say, "Hey, I want to do this," because like there's something new coming up. I have to say, like, I don't know right now. All the people I know, I'm super happy of what they're giving to me as knowledge, as experience, as like energy. So of course, like everyone would love to meet like I don't know, Elon Musk or whatever, those kind of people that are really on the edge of knowledge and everything. But I have to say I'm really happy of the people I'm surrounded by right now.
Mate, I actually love that answer. That's the first time someone said, I'm full up with froth. I'm stoked. Like I've got enough. And it's something that I know I could get anxious on sometimes, thinking that you need to continue to meet people. You need to always be doing that to grow. But in actual fact, a lot of the people within your inner circles can teach you enough to continue to grow, and you don't need to continually be seeking new people or new mentors. Which is, it's quite a nice and refreshing thing to hear. I think a lot of people could take some value from that, especially if they are living in cities like New York or London, where it can be pretty intense at the best of times.
I think like probably here you really realize that it's easy to go to just keep relationships at the surface because there's so many.
Mm-hmm.
So I really think like now I prefer to have like a deeper relationship with fewer people than to have like a more superficial relationship with more. So this is something like this city is teaching me right now.
Great. There's learnings everywhere. So is there anyone that you've drawn strength from in the past who's actually passed away that you can still kind of draw strength from now?
Yeah, as I said before, this Italian songwriter. I'm sorry it's in Italian, so nobody can.
Mate, we'll still put the song on.
There's a website in English, so where there's the translation, but it's not the same thing. Anyway, he's someone that really is incredible for me. Like it's like he's talking to me, even if I never met him, and it's that since like 19 years now.
Beautiful. Is there anyone that you've worked with personally as a professional photographer who, I mean, there's so many inspirational people that like I've read some of the stories who've potentially passed away due to the rare disease?
There's a little girl, but she was like 9 years old when I met her. So, not 9 years old, sorry, 9 months old. So it was really a baby. I have to say, really, that the relationship, the meeting I had with her mother and her family has been like incredible because, of course, the mother, she already knew that she was going to die anytime soon, but she accepted to have her in the project anyway. And what was incredible for me was like, usually when you have like a little baby, when you are the parent of a little baby, you are afraid of everything. So you don't give your baby to strangers to keep in their harm or something like that because you're scared, I don't know, like diseases, or they can let it fall, or I don't know. And this mother told me like, you wanna hug her, you wanna keep her in your arm for a while? I said, yes, of course. And then I asked like, she's so fragile right now, so are you decided to let me have her for a while in my arms and everything? I said, she will live a really short life. So any experience, I'm sure, will be an amazing experience. And for her to experience, to be held by someone else, so to hear a different heart rate or like a different feeling from the skin, could be a trip, could be like a new experience. So, and this amazed me because really it was a mother that was putting a new experience for her little baby before her own safety, let's say. Like she was really actually giving her little baby in the hands of an almost stranger. So I thought this was really like powerful. This was really a powerful moment for me.
A lot of beautiful lessons to be learned from people with rare diseases, and I think that's totally like living in the moment, and the vibe that you get from them is that they're just like that is living in the moment. That is taking every day as like a blessing, and unfortunately a lot of us don't do that enough. So yeah, a lot to be learnt from those stories. And again, thanks for telling those stories, mate. They're so inspirational. That's why I wanted to connect with you again, and hopefully see how I can support in the future. So let's talk about the ultimate. I know you said you've got your network, which is super powerful at the moment, but who would be the ultimate frother? Who would be the hero frother that you could connect with for 15 minutes in any field and take me to that first meeting?
I think could be Mirko Pasqualini. He's like a creative director for Ogilvy. I really like him. He's like quiet and energetic at the same time. And every time you talk with him, it looks like really a normal, easygoing guy. But then, as soon as you go into like something that is creative or design thinking related, it really opens you big doors, and you start to think, oh, whoa, this is really game changing. This is really like mind blowing what he just said to me. And so I have to say, it's really like this could be the kind of person that I can have in mind.
So you've worked with him directly before?
No, not working directly. I mean, I have to say, like, we are friends now, so we share a lot of. Also, we share the photography as passion, so we keep each other posted like almost every day on what we are doing, and so we usually it's him like giving me some suggestion or advices. But yeah, I never had the chance to really work with him on a project.
Oh, mate, I'm sure that'll come up, no doubt. Considering, yeah, you're both excelling in your fields. So what in the future are you most frothing on? I know that you mentioned before that you're looking to get the Rare Lives project up and running properly in New York City. What are you frothing on about this?
Yeah, now I'm already working with two other people to start a pilot of the Rare Lives project here in the US, in New York City. We already met some patients, and we are ready to post their stories on the social media. And I really hope with this we can move forward and find some sponsorship to travel across the whole country and really cover not just like let's say New York City, but all the 50, or even not if all the 50s, as many as states as possible in the whole US. So this would be thrilling also, because when I was traveling across Europe, I really had a chance to see how we as European countries are close together more than we actually realize, especially right now. I lived with those people. I spent multiple days in their homes, and I really felt connected with each one of them as a European person. We really share the same culture. Here in the US, I discovered is way more different than I thought. The culture, the way of thinking, the way of acting is more different than I thought before coming here and living here in the US. So I would be super curious to see how things goes across the US, how patients live their life here. Also because East Coast, West Coast, and everything is in the middle is way different one to another. So I'm super curious.
Yeah, the US is its own beast. I've lived in a few different cities and states and cities, and yeah, it's a very interesting place, and people shift from one state to another, and even cities to cities. So, mate, I'm looking forward to that, and I wish you all the best with that. So, if you could condense your gift into one workshop, what would the concept be, or even the title?
I think it would be about empathy, and how empathy is the most important thing every time. Doesn't matter if you're using photography, doesn't matter if you're writing, doesn't matter if you're just like having a discussion or like sharing a point of view, but to be empathetic with the other person or the other persons you have in front of you. I think this is the thing that I try to have the most when I meet new people, especially when it's about like a photo project. And this is really something to share stories with empathy through images. This is a workshop that I have already done, and this is something if someone will tell me like, how can I become a documentary photographer? Just be empathic with people. Just try to understand the others. Just try to put yourself in others' shoes, and then of course translate this with images. That's it.
Beautiful. Yeah, I love that. So if you need to reach out to someone in whatever field, what's your number one way to, I guess, to reach out to them and contact a frother?
Well, I will try to understand of course, if I want to reach him or her, probably I already know what he or her is doing, job and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll try to go deeper into this, try to understand why I like what he or she is doing. And so it would be like really try to find to show this person that I really know what is he or she is doing. And it's not just like a random thing like, hi guy, I need your help. Can you do this for me? But it's like, I love what you're doing because of that. So I want to do this. I want to collaborate, I don't know, and then try to start and build a relationship, because really, probably the best way would be, in my opinion, is let's build a relationship and let's try to see what we can do for each other. And probably this would be the best way to start a path together.
Exactly. Yeah, it needs to be mutually beneficial exchange of things. In most cases, it's the best place to start, because people just hate if you're just reaching out and, can you help me do this? Like, yeah, can I pick your brain? Sort of vibes. It's kind of like, hang on, do you know what I actually do? Kind of thing. So it's a very very important thing. So if people wanted to access you, to support you on your projects, what's the best way for people to get in contact?
Oh, there are multiple ways. So probably like Facebook will be still the easiest way. So my name and last name, and there's just two of us with this name. So I'm located in New York City. There's just me. It will be the easiest way. If not, email, that is aldo.soligno@gmail.com. And I think this will be the easiest way for everybody. Probably if you go on my Facebook profile, you will know a little bit more about me, so you can understand how I can help you better. And really open to meet everybody.
Yeah, it's specific. Yeah, and definitely on collaborations and things. So if anyone has any connections in New York City or anywhere really in relation to how we potentially support the next chapter of the Rare Lives movement, definitely reach out, because yeah, it's a super worthy thing to spend some time on and see how you can support it. Just to finish up, mate, I do something on this podcast which is connect frothers with frothers. So I'd really love to connect you with someone, even though I don't want to add too many more people to your inner circle, but I've got a really dear friend of mine who lives in New York City. She works at the Mill, which is a post-production house. I'm not sure if you've heard of that.
Cool.
Yeah, so she works there. She does a lot of 3D stuff, but she does a lot of rad photography as well. And she's just a super creative, inspirational person to me as well. And I feel like she would just absolutely love your story, love you. And I feel like you guys just need to go have a coffee or a vino or whatever.
I'm super thrilled about this. I can't wait. That I'd be more than happy to know this person, because I'm sure she will be amazing. So we'll be really thrilled to have a coffee with her. And
yeah, her name's Sally Reynolds. So yeah, I've been friends with her for over a decade, and she's been in New York for, I don't know, 3, maybe even 4 years, like you as well. So
so we're co-New Yorkers, we came here at the same time.
Yeah, there's so many of you. It's hard to cross paths with everyone, right? But yeah, mate. So it'd be my pleasure to put you in contact. And thanks so much for having this conversation. It's brilliant to reconnect with you after so many years. And yeah, as I said, really, if you need anything from me, from my side, give us a shout.
It has been amazing, really. Thank you very much, and thank you so much for putting me in contact with her. So thank you very much.
No worries, mate. Keep on frothing, and I'll speak to you soon.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Quick one, guys. To keep this show afloat, feel free to subscribe and share the love. Maybe even leave a cheeky comment review. That'd be awesome. You can find the show notes on my website at bennywallington.com. And finally, this episode was sponsored by my grandma, Joyce Reichel, who passed away last year from dementia. She was one of the original frothers and would talk to anyone on the bus, train or wherever and generously impart her energy and wisdom. So if you see an elderly person who is looking for someone to froth with, go and hang out with them. They've got the best stories. Also, a huge shout out to our producer, Lily Haynes, for bringing this to life, and Billy Otto, who created that beautiful introduction in true Billy Otto style. Also, my buddies in Australia and the UK who have been super generous in swinging me feedback. In a way, all of you guys are sponsoring me with your time. Love to the guests, past and future, and also to you guys for listening. Ciao for now. You!